Mindset Podcast. We're your guide as you make your way through life, getting better 1% every day. We believe that life is lived and true victory won through adversity. Nothing easy is ever worth it. We believe in the warrior ethos and support those that choose to walk that path.
I love that it doesn't take much to get you excited.
It's so intense. I really want to meet this guy in person. It's great.
He's a good dude.
I mean, you've told me this, but it's so good. Good job.
Yeah, he did a voice intro for 2 other podcasts I've done. It's always like, I'm going with this guy. He's just got like the best
He's got
voice.
the voice.
Yeah,
it's like a great voice.
He's got like a big handlebar mustache. Too.
Oh, really?
It comes way out.
Yeah. He's waxes.
Berman. Yeah, he does.
Wow.
Berman is the
Anyway,
man.
it gets me pumped up to talk about some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Every time I hear it.
Well, welcome to the Warrior Mindset. I have Heather here again. We want to talk about karma. That's it.
You said it. We talked about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to go through. I've been thinking about karma a lot, and I realized I didn't really understand it. Like I didn't. I was using the term wrong, and so I did some research. Not a lot of research because it wasn't that hard, but I found some stuff.
Okay. So I'm probably starting where you were before you even researched it at all.
Okay.
So where did you start? What did you think it was? And then what have you learned?
Well, I just Googled it, but
I assume so. Or you should have went and talked to like a monk or something.
I could have. Well, I don't know many monks, or any monks. Any monks. No, it was like I just thought like,
Do they actually do monks believe in karma? I don't know. I shouldn't have said that.
Hindu monks do.
Hindu monk, yeah.
Is it a monk? Hindu priest? I don't know.
Priest, yeah.
I should do some more research.
Spiritual person.
It was kind of like, hey, you're a dick, and then like you got fired. That's karma.
Okay. That's karma for you.
It's not really karma.
Yeah. Coincidence, maybe.
Probably. Or cause and effect, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that, but like the first is so we're gonna go through the 12 laws of karma because I think it's cool.
This is a good breakdown.
I think there's a lot of a lot of good life advice in here.
Yeah.
And then so I pulled it from this article. Let me get this in the proper screenage. Pulled it first from this article that you're not looking at, but it's the same 10 laws or 12 laws or whatever. There's a couple of, there's multiple readings of karma, right? Is what I found. There's like Buddhist karma, Hinduist karma,
Christian.
Yeah, whatever. But so we're gonna kind of just talk about that Hindu/Buddhist.
Yeah.
Definitions. So you got those 12 laws or whatever. So we're just going to kind of break those down. Get it back here. Here we go. So that's where we'll work from. So overall, you got this basic concept. They call it the Great Law. The basic concept of like cause and effect, right? So whatever you put in the universe, you get back. Right. And that, like, wow.
Hey. Yep, that's pretty.
I've always believed that.
You reap what you sow.
Yeah, that's another one.
Is it separate?
It is.
No way.
Called law of effect or something like that. But
okay.
Yeah, so like whatever thoughts or energy you put out into the universe, you get them back, whether positive or negative or good or bad, right? I've always thought that. I've always taught that, like as a coach, like if you're trying to accomplish a goal, put it out in the universe, tell people about it, there's like momentum or whatever you want to think, but you don't know. So did I answer your question?
Do I have a question?
I was mistaken.
Your question. So you're mistaken.
Wasn't
so it was
far off.
I think you might have been missing some things in between.
Yeah. I wasn't far off the mark. To
be fair, typically when bad things happen to people, calamity springs from carelessness.
Right.
So therefore, if you're not taking the steps to get to somewhere I assume people want to be in a positive place. I don't know.
You
Could probably lead to, a
think?
self-destructive place,
Yeah.
perhaps. But I think also like putting good thoughts out or energy out, you also have to be able, because you could be getting good energy, but you're not able to receive it. So where does that go?
Interesting.
Because karma is kind of like recycling of energy in the world, from what I know. So if you can't accept good, then how would you ever put bad? So it's chicken or the egg. If you can't take it, how do you give it back? But if you can't give it, you can't take it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You could be not ready.
You could be not ready.
Not ready to receive it.
Like, folks that, don't believe they deserve something.
Perhaps they're self-gaslighting themselves.
Perhaps so.
We'll have to make sure that one comes out before this one.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's kind of the overall. Yeah. That's the umbrella. I mean, it's like number one, but it's kind of like they call it the great law, right? So it's like the number one that kind of governs the rest, right? So you got the second one here, the law of creation, right? You have to create. You create your reality. You have to create your future. That's kind of how I look at it.
Yes.
So, one of the law of karma is you have to, like, if you want to have a good life, you have to build it. Which seems like pretty self-explanatory.
A really good analogy I have, you told me the story of the builder who was building these homes for his boss.
Oh, right.
And building these impeccable homes for his builder. He's like a contractor, we'll just say. And the guy's like, I really want to retire. And his boss was like, listen, just one more house and then you can retire. Please, I just need you to hold out and one more house. So the guy was like, forget it. I'm so done with this. So he built the house quick, kind of half-assed it, cut some corners. And then his boss was like, here are the keys to your house. Actually, you just built your house for you. So building your future, I guess,
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to come around. That is like,
I love that story.
Impeccable. Like, shit. The one time you should take a shortcut, you know what I mean?
It's free. Yeah.
It always gets you,
man.
And I don't think it's like,
it's a good book too. Chop Wood, Carry Water is the name of that book.
I need to read that. Yeah, that would be a good one to read and talk about, actually.
I actually have a copy for you.
Oh, good.
You just need to bring it.
Okay.
You.
Let's do one on that. Yeah, definitely law of creation. And then if you go back and listen to probably every other podcast that Gene has done, it talks about how to build that reality, because you can talk about that. It's very hypothetical, but how do you goal set? How do you get to what you want? That's a lot of what we talk about. That's how to, whether it's fitness or emotional intelligence or career, that's so easy to just say, this is what I want to do, but how the hell do you get there?
You have to do it.
You have to do it. But then you have to have steps in place. So,
yeah. Not the easy part.
No, that's the hard part. Everything in between, but deciding to do something, like saying you want to run a marathon and actually run the marathon, that's the hard part. Like right in between.
Right, the training.
Ugh, I
don't want to think about marathon training. But yeah, but I mean, how many people just want things to work a certain way, but aren't really willing to work at having them work a certain way?
That actually goes into the next one very perfectly. Nothing trying to speed this along, but you have to accept where you are in order to create the future that you want. You may not have all the tools to get there. So you have to be humble about it and be like, I want these things. I want this great career. I want the house, the family, but maybe I've been making bad choices.
Yeah.
That's the hard pill to swallow.
The law of humility.
The law of humility.
Yeah. You must accept reality in order to live in it.
Well, hey, it's a good point though. People walk around and they think it's their own world and no one else lives in it. Happens a lot.
Right. I mean, like you were telling the story about somebody who spent 3 hours on the phone because they broke their nail. I mean, probably a nice dose of humility would go a long way.
Yeah, just a little bit.
realize that
Yeah.
it's not their fault.
Not
you broke it.
their right.
But the second part, own what you can control and let go of what you cannot. That's the hard part.
Yes.
Not the owning what you
That
can
too.
control part. Like I get that. But letting go of what you can't control. That's
Two-parter. Yeah. Two-parter.
Especially in today, like the political climate and the social climate. I mean, it's really hard to let go of that stuff that
Yeah.
you really can't.
I think that
you can't control what other people think.
Think about like yin and yang
Mhm.
symbol. It kind of goes in with like this Eastern methodology of life and energy and stuff, but the yin and yang has like one large side, one big side, and like it kind of feeds into. So again, this is like outward looking and then also inward looking.
Yeah. Yeah.
That balance in between, because I can't control what you do. I can only control how I react to it, but it could be that I am using what I know about you. It's so complex,
I get you. Yeah.
But you have to be humble and know what you know and don't know.
What does humility mean to you? You wrote a whole paper on it at one point.
Yeah. First, accepting that you don't know everything. Accepting where you are and that you're not in control of everything. And then you have to work hard to get there. Nothing's gonna be handed to you.
Solid.
So just do work. And understand that the moment you think you know something about something, you probably don't know anything. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. Martial arts teaches you that, doesn't it?
Yes.
I mean, life teaches you that, but if you're paying attention, but
I mean,
I learned those lessons pretty clearly from martial arts. Like
I was
really threw in my face. I don't know what I think I know.
I was in the test for my green belt and I was like, oh,
yeah.
I'm moving my foot wrong the entire time.
Never even aware of it.
Sensei Pen's like, you need to go back from the beginning. I'm like,
really?
Wow.
Yeah.
To me, that was exciting because like it gives me something to work on.
Always something.
But unless you have that kind of like thirst for improvement, that could be like, well, this was all a farce.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like
we were just talking this morning with Thomas about what were we talking about? Talking about a lot of stuff, but at breakfast we were talking about how he was saying that it seems like people who point out. Well, he was talking about somebody giving him fighting pointers in sparring class, and he was like, "Been doing this for like a decade. I've been doing this for like 3 months. Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
There's probably an age thing. That other person was a little older. He is, and
perceived.
Yeah, he was talking about that, and we were saying like, well, most of the time, people who do that aren't really as advanced as they think they are.
They're projecting onto you.
Yeah, they're trying to make themselves feel better.
So he's 18, right?
19.
19. So as a 19-year-old, he's learning.
Yeah. I was like, welcome to martial arts
because
outside of your own martial arts.
He's been doing martial arts half of his life. So at this point, he knows more than most people.
Yeah. Yes.
So he's learning a very valuable lesson at a very young age.
To not give a shit.
To not give a shit about other people, but also being humble in himself.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
To be.
Well, that's what
this guy is twice as old as me.
Yeah.
And he's probably more than twice as old as Thomas.
Yeah.
So that's.
Well, that's what I told him. I said, well, you have two choices. You can look the guy in the eyes and say, shut up, get away from me. Or two, you could say, cool, bro, let's keep going.
And then you teach him.
Well.
Without saying too much.
Without really kicking his ass, but just kind of cool story, bro. Thank you, bro.
Yes. And that, wow, growth.
It was cool to see it play itself out in somebody else like that fast. Yeah.
It was cool listening to him. Well, both of you, but every time we all talk together, they all say something like, you're figuring this out. Because even riding with Eric to breakfast, he said a couple things. I'm like,
yeah, they pay attention.
Yeah, they do.
They're learning how to learn.
Because he was like asking me something. I was like, yeah, I'm like that. He's like, okay.
Well, we talk about stuff all the time like that. We have conversations like this all the time. Yeah, because I learned from them too. I mean, they're wiser than I was at their age, and
they have great perspective.
I think about like, what is it that makes a 19-year-old that wise? I should probably listen. I should probably pay attention.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got some stuff I didn't have.
Be humble. I mean,
yeah,
he's been doing martial arts longer than you.
he has.
So there's always
I know.
It's that line of humility, and at the same time, there's something to be said for just living more years.
Yes.
Just wisdom in that.
Yeah.
But that's
time.
Yeah. You
can't. Well, that's one of the criteria that you think about, like someone asked me about promotion. Like, how does it work? Like, what's the criteria or whatever for when you decide to promote someone? And I was like, well, part of it is like time on the mats. Like, part of it is just how long, like how much time have you put in between then and now? Like, I mean, there's like skill and literally, do you know the material? Can you test well on it? Like, skill and character and like ability. But part of it is, I mean, you can be like, everything, like, the material cold, you've practiced it and you're just like talented, so you can do it. I still won't promote you until you've put that time in, because I think, the elapsing of time is just, you can't replace it, experience.
Quick tangent.
We're already on a tangent.
We're definitely on a tangent, but like going down this route just a little bit, like testing and promoting and things like that. Have you ever found people digress, even though they're showing up consistently, digressing in their skills or tenacity or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, there's many different reasons, I think, for that. I've seen. I never figured it out, but I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay.
You have a reason for asking that?
I pay attention. That's all.
Yeah.
I watch people in classes. I'm just like.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Yeah, I mean, sometimes people will. What's the degress or is it regress?
I don't know.
Probably two different things. I get what you're talking about. You retain your status, but you move backwards in ability. Yes. I mean, I've seen it with people who just like fall out of shape, like physical shape.
That's kind of where I was.
They still, they'll still know all the material.
Yeah.
And still have this innate ability to perform the material, but they're not in as good of physical shape. I've seen people go backwards from a lack of mental stability. Not like they went crazy, but I mean, just like they got weaker mentally. Like something has happened to them. And so they're not capable of pushing through those, those barriers that you would need to push through to progress in, in martial arts. So physical, mental, I suppose spiritual, you could kind of lose your way a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Definitely from lack of humility, I've seen people regress or digress, whatever.
Yeah.
Lack of humility, that's one I've seen, where they just kind of, I'm a blue belt now, I'm good to go, really?
They're just happy there.
Yeah, I've seen that in jiu-jitsu, where it's like, I know everything. You're like, well, what? You don't, but
That's good.
It's there, man.
Good to hear.
You got to stay on the path. All right, number 4, the law of growth. No shit, right? When we change ourselves and evolve, our worldly reality will change and grow as a result.
I mean,
that's the law of growth. You have to
continue.
You improve yourself, and therefore the world around you improves. You must always be learning and improving.
Well, and if you're assuming you want good karma in your life, maybe not, but assume that you do.
Seek out bad karma.
Huh?
It'd be weird.
I mean, I'm sure people do, but I don't know why you'd want to. But
like self-sabotaging.
But by you're setting, I feel like all these like laws of karma are just like setting yourself up for good things to happen. And I think it's a lot to do with like religion or things like this. This is where it makes you feel good and have a way in order to be a good person.
Yeah.
But
agreed.
Or have good things happen. But yes, you have to continually be learning and growing as a person.
Yeah, I think so we can look at the law of growth in that if you want things to get better in your life, you have to make them better, but 2, you do that by growth, by improvement, like personal improvement.
Yes.
That's how you make your environment better. And I think that's one that people in the professional scape, you see a lot of job hopping and, talk about the great resignation or whatever. It's like, you can't make your environment better simply by changing jobs. Right. Like
No.
what's the reason there? Like, and
I mean,
I've seen that. I've seen someone
yeah.
leave to go to another job, and then within like 3 weeks, they're like, "Can I come back?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
I've seen that happen too. I think at your job, the way I've always been, I approach my work is that I'm getting paid to learn more so that I can go make more money. And that means by me learning, I'm always constantly providing more to my company.
Yeah.
Regardless if I stay or not.
Right.
But they might want to keep me more because I have done that. Does that make sense? So you're
They should.
constantly trying to
If they're a good
self-improve.
Yeah,
and
if they're a good
provide.
company,
Yes.
following all these same laws, I mean, they would definitely want to keep you.
Right. So
one of the problems, another tangent there, but one of the problems I see is that you'll have someone who's doing a job for your company, and they get really good at it, and so then you promote them to a place where they don't do that thing anymore.
yes. Yeah.
And it's like, huh? Like it's set up so that the only way to make more money or to like to improve your station in the company is to like climb the ladder, which means no longer doing the thing that got you there in the first place. That seems really counterintuitive.
It does. But I guess when you're managing a ton of people, it's kind of hard to do.
I guess.
I'm at that point now where my company's like, where do you want to be in 5 years?
Yeah.
Because we have a plan for you, but we want you to tell us what you want.
Well, I suppose that's good. They're like considering like your abilities and what you want and who you are.
Which is very nice, but what I've seen so far is like positions I'm not interested in.
Right.
So it's like I'm like, I don't want to get out. I don't want to get rusty with my actual hands-on.
Right.
Like what you're saying.
Right. Or you don't want to necessarily be one level up in management where you're no longer even working on anything.
That's what I mean. It's like I need to be like in the stuff because I lose my sharpness not knowing how things work. It's constantly, as you know, technology constantly changing. So unless you're in it all the time, you could be at it for like 6 months, a year, and you are like so far behind because I move so fast.
Oh yeah. Conundrum.
Stay sharp, continually grow.
But don't grow too hard, too fast.
Why not?
I don't know. I thought it was cool. All right. The law of responsibility.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's kind of like wrapped up in extreme ownership.
Yep.
From Jocko. Take ownership of everything that happens in your life in one way or the other. We are responsible for how we show up in the world, how we allow others to treat us, and how we treat people. No shit.
No shit. I just wish people would own stuff more, Gene.
Yeah.
Oh man. It's like
we should do a review of extreme ownership.
We should. We have never done that before.
That'd be a good one.
Because it's really,
although he kind of does it enough.
He does it. Just listen to Jocko. But, I mean, maybe from our perspective, just learning how to manage people like he has, because he's from a military background, but even within like my work, my day job work, you spend a lot of your time managing other things and trying to own an entire process which is not yours. Like I work inherently within my company with probably like 4 or 5 different teams. I don't control what they do or what they do. They have all different bosses. They report to different leadership. But somehow I gotta
you gotta get the shit done.
You gotta get the shit done.
Yeah.
But it's really hard when another team does not own that.
What do you do?
Very, very hard. So you learn how to
throw things across the room?
No, I
Oh.
want to.
Okay.
I might do that off camera and swear a lot off camera, which I have done to my boss before. I'm like, why do they like own any of this stuff?
You know what's weird is that you just said that and everyone knows you're talking about Zoom.
I know.
I don't like it. Anyway.
I know. We use Teams now, which I don't know.
It's even worse.
I know. Oh, now you got me sidetracked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. You have to upward manage and manipulate. You have to.
No, we have determined
that
it's leadership. It's not manipulation.
You have to have great leadership skills.
You have to lead.
And
to lead up the ladder.
I have learned
and down the ladder.
In my time being a project manager and doing the work I do, I've gotten really good at this. I think that's why I can get stuff done really fast is because I'm like, okay, you understand people's personalities. I'm like, okay, so you got to do this and then this and then this and this and this. And it turns out these people are not my best friends. And they'll do things for me. Like I'm like,
right.
Hey, and
right.
they're like, hey, what's up? What do you want me to do? And like, she went and like, I told my boss, I'm like, yeah, she just went and did it for me. She's like, what? I was like, we're friends now.
That's awesome.
And
That's what it's about.
She's like, how'd you do that? I'm like, this. And she's like, oh crap. So I think
if you're not a wiener, okay.
you learn how to navigate and get stuff done.
Yeah.
Leadership.
That's what it is.
But you inherently by doing that, you take on all responsibility for the greater good of the company. Like I'm trying to keep a client.
I think if it's understood that you are there to maintain the client or to do better for the project, people will pay attention to it. I mean,
you'd be surprised.
In theory, I'm not talking about people's
in theory
inability to be good employees. I mean, like
right.
They will, but if they get a whiff of, they think you're doing it for your own personal station, or you're doing it to get a bump or raise, they won't help you at all.
But I don't know. I struggle with that because talking about politics or anything, even like discussing like people's like real lives with certain things going on, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I mean, my work, like I work in insurance, like me saying like, hey, this person needs their their pharmacy active because they have to get like they have cancer and we need this done now via the technology that we own as a company.
Right. Let's fix it.
And they're like, well, it has to go through this case management process. I'm like, bullshit. Log the hell in.
Just change a number.
Call the carrier, re-enroll their pharmacy. So this person go to the pharmacy and get that type of like, it's almost like they see it as just like a moving thing on a screen. And like, there's no like humility. Go back to the humility part within like the work that they do.
Right.
Because we're so like on our, I think that goes back to like, talking about social media. Like it's so easy just to throw crap up on Facebook. But I'm a real person.
Yeah, there's no friction. Yeah.
You're a real person.
Right.
So we lose some of that.
I think we do.
Take responsibility of your words too.
We are responsible for how we show up in the world, how we allow others to treat us, and how we treat other people. I wrote a quote in here on the screen that I thought was cool. It's someone, oh God, I don't remember who I heard it from or who said it to me, but it said, what you allow in your presence is your standard. And that stuck with me, man. Like
that's really good.
That has been rattling around in my brain ever since I heard it. And like, it's become one of the things that I sort of test everything against. And I fail at that one, like on the daily, like,
yeah.
And I realized, well, I guess my standard's kind of low. Don't know what to do about it.
I feel like in your situation, not trying to not judging you by saying this, but you care a lot. So you gotta have to protect your energy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard.
I try to say to some of my friends who are like huge, like they do a lot of advocacy work, which means like their hearts are like out there in the community working on things. I'm like, friend, you gotta like protect your energy a little bit.
Yeah.
Because if you're in presence of this chaotic stuff all the time,
that's who you are now.
It's gonna seep into you at some point. So
right.
Yeah.
I love that one. That's a good standard, but under law of responsibility.
With friends, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Who you hang out with?
Yeah.
You go in the bar every night and drinking?
Yep.
Happy hour day?
That's what you are. Guess what?
You're gonna go to the gym and work out, and then do karate, and then
Or you can spend your money on
do
dumb
some
shit all the time, and then wonder why you don't have any left over later.
that as well.
I mean, because you're around people that spend their money on dumb shit. I don't know.
Mhm.
The law of connection. We
Mhm.
are all connected. So externally and internally, our past, present, and future are all us.
Mhm.
Everything is linked. All of our experiences and people we've met, when we help, teach, love, and respect ourselves, we do the same for others, and vice versa. So
Mhm.
it's all connected, right? This one seems very like karma, like
It really is
ooh,
like doo-doo-doo.
Buddhist karma shit.
Yeah.
We're all connected. My past, future, and present self, and my past, future, and present
Mhm.
relationships are all connected.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, one informs the other, right? My past relationship is going to inform how I interact with this person in this other one,
Mhm.
right? And we have to understand that.
Yeah.
There's one of the obviously the great laws of karma is that
Mhm.
that's how the universe works.
Yes.
That's
And
a funny one. That seems like most of therapy.
100%.
Like
I was
it seems
about
like 80% of therapy
I was
is
about
just realizing that it's all related.
I was about to say that I went home recently. I've told you some stories about my venture home, and I haven't been home in like 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
And I'm driving back. I had a long drive back, 11 and a half hour drive back. And I was just like decompressing from this trip. It was kind of like rattled me in several different ways, not surprisingly, but anyway. So I was like going through stuff. I'm like, wow. Just thinking about like where I am currently as like current Heather, and just in my short lifetime, and then think about my parents. I'm like, I learned more about them, and then their grandparents learned more. I'm like, no wonder why. I, and
Well,
their
yeah,
their
for
great,
real.
I learned like,
For real.
more over that trip. I was like,
Yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
So then just sitting like watching you with your sons, I was like, wow, like you can see like how the present is informed by the past, and especially with the kids and
Yeah.
even your own choices. But I just think about family, like, and I think it's like having like some being patient with yourself a little bit when it comes to some of this stuff, because like you're handed what you're handed, and then you have to deal with it and do the best you can. So, and it is all connected. Our past is connected. Even though I, live over 800 miles away from my family, that shit fucked me up for a long time.
Right.
It has informed a lot of my decisions that I've made, but I've owned that, and
Totally.
same with anything. So but it takes understanding that and how things are connected. But yeah, this is like, that's like,
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to keep all that in your head at one time.
yes.
That's when the epiphany
Gosh,
happens.
That's when you figure it out.
When you're driving back from your
Mhm.
visiting your folks and you're just like, or your family, and you're like, whoa, like I need coffee.
I was like, I'm not doing so bad.
Right.
I'm
It's a
like,
good affirmation to
I
realize.
was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not an alcoholic. I have a great job. I have a house I paid for, a car paid for.
Right. And I did
great
it.
friends.
With my brain, I made
With
that
my
happen.
brain, I made that happen. Great friends,
Yeah.
business partner. Like,
Yep.
I'm doing cool stuff in the community. I'm like, damn,
Good
okay.
shit.
Kind of like, okay, I'm doing okay.
Yeah, calm it down.
I gotta calm down a little bit. So
I love this quote.
Yeah.
I put this in here. I don't know if you agree with it or not, whatever, but that thinking about that made me think about this quote. I had to go look it up. Tough times create strong men. Strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create tough times. Seems like that's where we are right now.
Yeah.
In our world we live in.
Oh my gosh.
When you think about like,
Yeah.
you think about that in like I don't know, families or whatever, where you're like, I want my kids to have it better than I have. So you spoil them.
Right.
They turn into trust fund babies or whatever, like little
Yeah.
shitty kids or whatever.
I don't have to work them. We have to work for anything or whatever the sentiment is.
And then they,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then a generation later,
Mhm.
maybe their kids reject them as parents, and they go and they're like, tour guides in Alaska, and they live a hard life, whatever. And then they're like, and they come back and then
Mhm.
they're like, damn, that was hard. So then they have kids and they spoil their kids.
Mhm.
Like it's like a whole cycle. And that was completely made up scenario.
I followed it.
Okay, good.
I followed it.
But
So
yeah,
I've seen that. I've seen that in families.
I have too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, your parents are so like tough and like
Mhm.
frugal and like great, and you're such an asshole. Like, how did that happen? Well, it's because they spoiled you because they were born in the Depression.
Mhm.
You know, like that's how that works.
Yeah.
They gave you everything and you didn't have to work for it. Man, I sound like a dick. It's making assumptions about all kinds of stuff.
Well, hey,
that's a vast generality.
Vast
that
generality.
if you listen to this show, you probably agree with, but it's
Yeah.
a big generalization.
But I think inherently, for the most part, tough times do create strong people. I agree.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Yeah. I mean, kind of do it or you don't. So.
Or you die. The law of force, and I put focus around whatever. So you are a shitty multitasker. I don't care what anybody says. You cannot multitask. It doesn't work. That's why you should not text and drive.
Mm-mm.
We cannot truly do more than one thing at a time. We must focus on the task in front of us and complete it. Mm-hmm. So I guess is what they mean by force. Like focus. Like do the thing.
See, I read that.
Quit fucking around.
I read the law of force differently.
Okay.
Because
these are my interpretations.
I know.
Okay.
This one I don't. I agree with that. That's not wrong, I don't think. But the way I interpret the law of force is that I'm a very like type A person, as you know, and like I want this. So sometimes I force things because I want them.
I got you.
It may not be right. Not the right person, not the right situation, but
right.
I think about the end game and I try to force the situation. We just had to talk about this at lunch. Like we did. You're like, Heather, you're just like, let things go.
Well,
I force it. Like
you're making me think about that in a different way. I just want to think about it in terms of focus, but no, I think about like how many times have you found yourself in a bad situation, not like danger, but like you wind up being with someone that sucks, or maybe you befriend someone and they turn out to be kind of an ass because you wanted it.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah, we've talked about this before with people where you overlook red shit things they do.
Red flags or just being a shitty person.
Just because you want the result.
I think this, to me, is like, we talk about never quitting, right? Yeah. To me, I think you should quit some things sometimes. Or
explain.
Cut that part out. Like, we talk about like narrowing down on friends or like a friend diet or cutting off certain relationships.
Yeah. I like to think of it as a friend sabbatical.
Friend sabbatical. You're fired from I don't know.
That's a little too permanent.
Yeah, it's too permanent. But you have to like remove that if you're like if they don't serve a, again, back to your quote, if you're not in the right presence with your standard, you have to like you can't force something.
No, that's for sure, especially with other people.
So if they're not, or the situation is not helping you get to where you are, then you can't force it. Mm-hmm. You can't force it to be good. You can't force that person to be good or be what you need or, like an easy reference would be like you're best friends with the bartender. So like, well, I need to go hang out because this is where my friends go every Friday night at 5. But you're like, I really want to just go to the gym.
2 years later, you're an alcoholic.
Right. Or you gain 50 pounds or whatever the hell the situation is. But you can't force something. You have to, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think one of the, are you overlooking those red flags, or are you overlooking things that you shouldn't let fall out of your standard because you want the thing, or you want the end result? Yeah. I think about it almost every bad business decision, almost every bad business decision I've been party to is because I overlooked pitfalls and warnings for the promise of the result, right? So you wind up wasting a bunch of money.
Yeah.
You never get there because you could have seen that like months and months prior, but you just, we don't quit here. So we're going to keep going and ignore these things because I want that thing. Well, I want to talk about that though. Never quit. Yeah, because I still believe in it.
I think you should quit some things. I think you got to quit things. Now, I think you start doing. I'm laughing at myself because it sounds really funny because I'm not a quitter. I do not like to quit, but I think what you do is you displace with the good things you do and do less of the bad things. How about that?
Yeah, there you go. I don't think we're talking about that.
It's two separate things.
I'm glad we got there.
Yeah.
Because I was on another one of these and there was a little confusion and I let it ride. Yeah.
So, do I make sense?
You do.
What I'm saying?
You do.
Like, you should quit heroin. Right?
I don't think that falls under the never give up t-shirt, the never quit t-shirt.
No,
that's not what we're talking about.
And that's what I'm saying, but there are, I don't know.
You should definitely quit heroin.
You should quit heroin. If you're doing heroin, quit today.
Let's do it. let's get to work on.
We're laughing, but
the no heroin thing.
Seriously, it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I still stand by it. Obviously, if it's like doesn't meet your standard, I don't think rejecting something is the same as quitting.
But if you're like
if
cutting someone out of your life, blocking their shit,
it's not quitting.
What is it?
Well, I mean,
what is it then? You tell me.
I mean, it's quitting that relationship, I guess.
Okay.
But I mean, that's not really the same thing, I think, as quitting something. Like, I think of it as like, Heather, I'm going to go and I'm going to get this done because it's something that needs to get done. And then like, I start working on it and I'm like,
I don't want to do this anymore.
It's kind of hard to do that. So I'm going to quit.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do it anymore. You should call me out on that. You should be like, dude.
But what's the difference? You're quitting.
You're a quitter.
If you're quitting a relationship.
What if I say, hey, Heather.
What's the difference?
I met this cool friend of mine.
Yeah.
I want you to meet him. We're going to hang out and work out. And you meet him and you're like, guy's a fucking racist. You should probably not be friends with that guy. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be racist too.
Shit.
You see where I'm going with it? Like,
but no, you would just not talk to that person.
Right. I don't think that's a bad thing though.
That's what I'm saying. That you're quitting on that relationship. You're
Is it the same thing?
I think so.
I think they're two different buckets. I think it's two different things.
It's a fuck it bucket.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. That's what I mean when I say quit on something. I'm like, cut that shit out.
I got you. Yeah.
But don't get that's a whole other damn podcast.
It is. It's all semantics, but it's important though. It's important.
Yeah, it is.
Because I like wearing the t-shirt.
I just realized what you said.
The law of giving and hospital. Are we done with that subject?
We're done. We're gonna force it any longer.
I feel like we kind of.
Did you hear it?
I got it. You don't need to focus on that anymore. I think we've proven a point.
We've proven the point. We beat that to death.
The law of giving and hospitality. You can't just. I like this one. You can't just say and think good things. You have to follow through with them. Practice what you preach and walk the walk.
Yes, Gene. You're about to say something very profound when you stop.
Pledging is not a donation.
No, it is not. Show me the coins.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking
Amber
about.
Heard.
Yes.
Pledging is not a donation.
Pledging is not a donation.
And that is like this karma law right there.
Yeah.
And all the bad shit that came to her because of that, she deserves because it's the law of karma.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's literally that. It's actually donating. I mean, if you want to feel good about something and you want to like support something, you actually have to support it. You can't just like say you do and then do absolutely fucking nothing. You know? Yes. It's literally like going, it's a shame there's homeless people. I hope they don't get cold tonight.
Oh my God.
I mean, like,
I know. I get it.
Okay. Good thought, I guess. I mean, What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Like, don't tell me about it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
That's like the whole, to me, this is like, there are a handful of people, literally a handful of people I can call, and they would give the shirt off their
yeah,
back.
right.
Like, I think it's that kind of sentiment.
Okay.
Giving, giving, or like if someone needed to come to my house and crash, like, come on,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. Um,
And
but
but truly letting them do it and don't like be like, you remember that time I let you crash my house?
well,
I
yes,
borrow $50. I mean, like,
yes,
that's also not what it means.
right, no, yeah, because you never know when you're gonna need it, right?
I used to have
I
friends like
think
that. They'd be
shit
like,
comes back around.
remind you, and what?
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I think it's a dude thing.
you know, you might be
I
right.
think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The law of here and now. We're on number 9, by the way. The law of here and now. Be present in the moment. Don't listen to respond. Focus on the world around you while you are in it. That's how I understood it. That.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to do.
Wait, what?
It's hard to do,
Yeah, I mean,
especially when you're trying to think about this, all this other shit, and then, but
yeah.
how are you ever gonna get to the future if you're not doing what you need to do, like now, like in a workout? The way I break it down workouts is like, if I'm doing like a 30-minute thing, I'm like, okay, I need to do these next 5 reps.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard. Okay, now I need to do 5 more.
That's cool.
That's
Yeah.
literally what I do in my
It's
head.
like a Navy SEAL way of breaking things down.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I have 2.5 minutes left. I have about 30 reps left. I'm gonna do 5 at a time.
Cool.
I'm gonna get running, training up
Yeah.
for a marathon. I'm like, I'm gonna get to that tree.
Instead of worrying about the whole 20 miles.
I'm gonna get to that tree next.
I think of this one. This one's cool. This one. So when I tested for first degree black belt, we did a 3-day test, and I was so focused on like all the shit that could go wrong. For me personally to not pass it.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't even remember. Like I
Mm.
barely, like even right now, I can barely remember it.
Yeah.
I just remember getting through it.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh. But when I tested for second degree, we did 3 days again. I remember every detail. Partly it could have been because like I had experience, but also I remember I'd done a lot of this type of self-improvement work, and I remember writing like 3 guidelines that I wanted to bounce everything off as I was doing the test, and one of them was be present. Because I'd had that experience where I was like, shit, like I went through it, but I don't remember all like how I felt in the details and things like that, because I was just focused on getting through it. I wanted to make sure and be like, I want to remember every smell, every like grain of sand, and everything about this. Could have been because I was teaching before, and then went through the test, and I have that sort of dichotomy going too. But yeah, so that was one of them.
What is a suggestion you give people to try to live more in the present?
I don't even know. I haven't figured it out. In that sense, I do that now. I continue the same. It's funny that I wrote those things down and then I still continue them. Like I still do that. Like every morning I get up to coach and I'm in front of those people and I try to like be there. I talk to them, like I try to talk to them about what's going on in your life. Like I remember, like I just try to be there then and not worry about the next class.
Yep.
And not worry about, well, shit, when I leave here, I have to go to this other job, this other thing, or I leave here and I'm going to do podcasting later. I try not to do that.
Yeah.
And that's super hard to do, but I really do try not to do that. And that doesn't mean I do it like the class is an hour long. I'm not like that for the full hour.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's a CrossFit workout. It's like 15 minutes long, like you can focus for 15 minutes on who's in front of you or when they're coming in, like you can put your shit down and like still be time to do that other shit later. But like, I try to do that. And that's what I would say. Like maybe do that. Maybe write 2 or 3 things. It's like, I've heard it described as like your stand. Like, what's your stand? What's your why, not why you're doing things, but what's your standard for how you want to end your day,
Yeah. I try to do I try to, like, when I'm with friends or whatever, I try to put my phone away. I try to.
Yeah.
It's hard to do because we're like, especially during like the workday, um, for that quality time, it can be, we're so addicted to our phones and stuff.
Mhm.
Put it away.
So these I'll just write them out in case they help you. Um,
Mhm.
so these were the ones I wrote down, and I still do it.
Endure it,
Yeah,
yeah.
you've seen that one before.
Yeah.
So I forget which one it was. It's Marcus Aurelius probably, but if you can endure it, endure it. That was one of the
Mhm.
ones. I think I wrote like suffer in silence.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like embrace the suck because I had a patch that I brought with me. But really, I like this Stoic quote a little bit better. If you can endure it,
Yeah.
endure it.
Mhm.
If it can be endured, then shut up.
Then just do it.
I mean, we don't need to bitch about it. And then set the standard. So
Yeah.
was like be the best at it that you like.
Mhm.
It's not a competitive angle. I wasn't like I want to be better than everyone else who's ever tested for second. Like I just wanted to set the standard for those coming behind me that like I want to be the one where they're like when that guy did it, he made it a level up, and I should
Mhm.
strive for that. It's more of a legacy thing, I think.
Well, I think for you also, it could be, and I'm just hypothetical, but you're doing the best you possibly can
Mhm.
for yourself.
Absolutely.
And in the here and now, you're doing what you can. You're not leaving anything left on the table.
Mhm.
You are, by doing that, you are setting the standard.
Yeah, because you can't be better than
Because
you
even
are.
if you're,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
even if you're full of shit,
Yeah. That's not the point.
it's not the point.
That's not the point.
Right.
Yeah, set the standard. Yeah, personally
Yes.
or
And therefore,
interpersonally, whatever.
anytime I see anyone ever do the best they possibly can,
Mhm.
they could be the worst athlete in the gym, and they put their heart into it. I'm like,
That's the standard.
that I respect.
That's the standard.
That's respect.
Absolutely.
That is setting the standard.
Law of here and now. Man, that was a deep one.
Yeah. It's good.
The law of change, number 10. History will repeat itself until we learn from experience and make the changes we need to make.
Oh,
Break the
gosh.
pattern.
Gene.
I mean,
Gosh.
that's like the United States.
It really is.
Why don't we learn from history?
We have short-term memories.
Not really. We write all this shit down. We record it in the internet.
They're rewriting history as we speak.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Right.
We
So
do.
screw
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like
That's true.
That
is true.
Let me give you a more lighthearted analogy to this. This is my analogy. Is again, we'll go back to working out. It's run a gym together and working out with typically men for the first time, and I work out with them, and I'm like, okay, I always just like kind of hold back and like let me just see what they got, and I just not waffling. I'm just like trying to feel them out, because within like a few minutes, I'm like, all right, I know where to go.
Turn on the
I know what I'm
speed.
gonna do now. What I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna do this,
Right.
and I crush them. But afterwards, because I've been doing this for a while, I'm like, hey, like, you really need to think about like your pacing. like maybe do this and consider this. Like, you can't keep up with me the whole time. Like, so you need to do this for you.
Right.
And like pace it like this and do this. And then I'm thinking of one Jason, past member, and he just kept doing it over and over again. I'm like, Jason, I'm like, when are you gonna learn your lesson to change how you're? Because I'm like, he's a strategy guy. I'm like,
where's the
apply
strategy?
that
Use your strategy
to your own fitness, and your own because you can't strategize the same way I do.
Right, I'm a different person,
or the same,
completely different athlete.
Yeah, so you have to change, or else you're gonna just. He's like, I just like completely hit a wall at like round 3. I'm like, you're gonna do that every time, unless you change your mentality.
Yeah.
First, have a little humility. Scroll back up, read number 3.
Yeah.
And then come back down. It's a 9.
Break the pattern, dude.
Or 10.
I hope you're breaking the pattern, bro.
Break the pattern. I don't think he is, but I hope so.
God, I hope he doesn't listen to this.
I hope not either. Come back.
No one else knows who you are, so it's cool, dude. The law of patience and reward. HWPO. I just bought that shirt. I'm a
Oh, did
T-shirt
you?
slogan guy. Hard work pays off.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Fraser's thing. No shit, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
The most valuable things that exist require patience and persistence.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like anybody can go to Amazon and order their black belt tonight. You can.
Yes.
Doesn't mean you are one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Check.
Checkmate.
All right. 12, the law of significance and inspiration. We are all uniquely ourselves with worth and value to offer the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a good, warm and fuzzy number 12.
Oh, thank God we're ending with that. It's like I've been through like 3 therapy sessions. Oh, gosh.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know how important you are in the world until, well, you might not ever, but
or maybe
it's one of those things. You don't know how you've inspired people,
Yeah, if you're leading a certain path.
I mean, I've shown people like they think they're like slow and like just not worthy. And I'm like, do you understand how many people you inspire because you show up every day?
People are watching.
You're here every day.
People are watching you.
They like, hell, you're inspiring me. And they're just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, bro. Like,
yeah.
It's a thing.
It
is a thing.
It definitely is. Could also be law of significance. Some things are not that important.
I had somebody.
And you're applying too much importance in something.
Yeah, it's true.
Just thought.
That's another way to look at it.
I'm not trying to be negative, but I mean, again, the whole thing.
Way to go.
You're saying something.
I don't remember now, but that's a good way to think of it. That you are putting too much value on your inspiration when it's just luck.
Oh, that's not what I meant. But
oh, that's how I took it.
Oh no, I meant like law. Like
I'd rather have luck than skill any day.
If you apply more significance to something than what it's worth,
right.
Then it's not.
Yes.
Then it's like, for instance, like people like
same. Yes, I've seen it.
Obsessed with certain things in their life, in their house, or items of things, and I'm like,
yeah, what?
See, if my house is burned down, I'd grab my dog.
Yeah, I'd be gone.
If I had time, my laptop.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
yeah, just like I work on Monday.
Do not care.
I pay for the next house.
Right, I do not care. Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up the black belts again. It's the same thing, right? Like just like number 11. It's if you are a black belt, it's valuable because you earned it. But you also can't apply more significance to it because it is just a belt. You know what I mean? You don't need it.
It's also
like you can still have the same personal quality and not even like
blow my mind.
And that's when you know you've really you got it.
That's so true. Because we might be talking about the same person.
Does it make you a better person?
No,
I mean, if it's quality.
If you think about it, like the belt system or titles at work.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're a better person.
Doesn't mean anything.
No, it just means you've been there longer.
Now, it does help that mental.
Yep.
We need as humans, I think, a way to know that we are.
Yeah, it's good inspiration.
Inspiration.
To be promoted.
Right.
To get a raise.
It is.
That'll keep you going.
That'll keep you going.
Yep.
We are fickle creatures.
And you need it.
That need.
I think so. I mean,
we need because we need encouragement.
Yeah.
To know that we're improving.
Right.
I guess. At least for me. So.
Well, that's it. We had 12. We did 12.
We could add more. No, 13 would be bad. That's a bad number.
I don't know anything about it, so maybe there is one where there's like 20. I don't know, but
no, this is great.
That post had 12, so I don't know. Really I thought it was a cool list of things to go through and get your opinions and see where you stand on things.
Yeah.
Cool. Hopefully it was useful to anyone who stuck around this long. If you did, I appreciate you.
Yes. That was a long time, right?
I guess. I don't know.
That'll be fine. Good stuff. I learned some things.
I hope so. I did too.
All right.